Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Lane. Lane is from Ohio in the USA. So let's see what Lane has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello, Lane.
Hi, sorry, just getting set up. All right,
Hello.
there we go.
Hello,
see
how
me?
are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time for the interview this morning. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So tell me, how is your morning going so far?
It's going good. I actually ended up just getting a new couch yesterday that I bought from a friend, so I have to still get that set up. I don't have it set up right yet, so after the interview today, I'm gonna go and get the couch set up. So
Amazing. And what is something special about the couch that you got for your friend? Something special? You just felt like, okay, I'm gonna get it from you.
yeah, so my friend is moving down to Tennessee and she needed to get rid of a lot of her stuff. And I've always wanted a couch that you could lay down on, like a sectional. And so that's what it was. And so I was like, oh, I'll take it. So yeah, I've just been cleaning it up and putting it together. So all that fun stuff.
And you are helping a friend in the end of the day as well.
Exactly. Yeah, no, she still has a lot of stuff she has to get rid of. So we'll see how it goes.
Lane, tell me, where are you from?
Yeah, so I am from Ohio in the United States. It's kind of the state that usually a lot of people make fun of because there's really not much here besides corn, but it's still a nice place to live. So
Funny. I had a lot of guests on the show from Ohio, different parts of the states. And I could see in your profile that you are from Columbus.
yes, Columbus, Ohio. Yep, so I'm in the capital.
That's the place where you're born and raised?
So I was originally from a place called Springfield, Ohio. It was a smaller town about like an hour outside of Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I grew up there and then went to school there. And then when I graduated, I decided to move over to Columbus to kind of pursue more opportunities.
And what's the best part of living in Columbus, in your opinion?
In Columbus, there's just always something to do. Like one day I was just sitting at home on a Sunday and the Broadway show of Aladdin came through. And so I was bored. So I was like, I wonder what's going on today. So I just looked on Google and I bought a ticket and then I drove to the theater and then I saw the Broadway show of Aladdin just because I had nothing else to do that day. And it was a lot of fun.
Do you see yourself living there for a long while?
Yeah, so that's actually something that I'm going to have to kind of think about this year. That was kind of my resolution was so I'm an actor and the goal is to eventually become a full-time actor. Now, the only thing is you can't be a full-time actor in Columbus. There's just not there's a lot of opportunity, but there's not a lot of opportunity. And so I have to decide if I'm going to move to maybe a bigger city, like maybe New York, Chicago, Los Angeles. So I gotta come up with a plan and it's a little daunting. So
I think this time of the year, when you start a new year, there's always those questions mark that comes to our head. And in a way, it's exciting as well because it pushes you to kind of, okay, what I'm going to do next, what I'm going to pursue, what I'm gonna explore or focus more. I think this time of the year, it's a good time for us to see what's gonna be the next 12 months ahead waiting for us. So tell me a little bit about your career as an actor.
yeah, so I ended up starting to act when I was in high school. So I started freshman year. There was this little church organization that had an acting program that I kind of started in, and then I started studying it in drama classes when I was in high school. I wasn't originally going to become an actor. I was more so focused my senior year on potentially becoming a counselor. And so I ended up applying for a lot of different schools. And the school that I went to, which was Wittenberg University in Springfield, they had an acting scholarship that they were doing. Now, I found out about this acting scholarship the day before the deadline. And so I ended up emailing the head of the department and I said, hey, I just found out about this. Is there any way that I could get an extension to prepare something? And he said, no, sorry, deadline's tomorrow. We'll see you then. And I was like, oh no. So I like went to the library. I got like this book of monologues. I found like a funny one about this guy who was like complaining about a school lunch and it being disgusting. And then I found this other monologue about this guy who was being like interrogated by the police because he accidentally killed his girlfriend. So I had to do like a comedic and a serious one. And so again, I only had one day to prepare and memorize. I didn't show it in front of anybody because I didn't have time to. And so I went down, I did the audition, and the head of the department was like, that's the best audition that I've seen since I've been here. And I was like, whoa. Like I started like crying. I was so happy. So I ended up getting the scholarship. And
Wow.
yeah, that I was like, maybe I should continue studying this and make this my career. So that's what I did.
Wow. And besides acting, what do you do for a living?
Yeah, so during the day, I am actually a customer service trainer. So I train people on how to use our systems, how to answer phones, you know, like empathy, sympathy, all that stuff. So just like a customer service trainer to get people more comfortable with, you know, taking phone calls and answering questions.
I think at the end of the day, you are acting as well, learning, teaching people how to act somehow.
Yes, exactly. No, it definitely is like use your customer service voice, like be nice. So
Lane, before we start our journey within the magic box, would you like to tell me something interesting about yourself?
ooh, interesting about myself. Yes. So I've actually been to Germany 3 times. I went for about a month each time. First time was like kind of like a study abroad program that I did in high school, and then I went back in college to visit my host family. The second time that I went back. The third time I went back, I was with a volunteer organization there. And I love Germany. I've thought about like moving there potentially and like just even being like a tour guide. I don't speak the language too well. I know enough to like survive and ask for directions and eat, but I love that country and I think it's beautiful. The people are so nice, and yeah, so that is one interesting fact about me.
Wow. And where's about in Germany?
Yeah, so I lived in a very small village called Kimberg. It was about like maybe half an hour outside of Wittenberg and then about an hour away from Berlin. But
Mhm.
I also lived in Berlin while I was there and also Munich. And then we also got to travel to Salzburg, Austria, where they filmed The Sound of Music. That
Oh,
is probably the most beautiful place I've ever been to in my life, and I just was blown away that like there were people who lived there and got to see this every day, because like all I get to see is corn, like I said. So
somehow you felt connected with your state back in the US somehow.
yeah, my ancestors were from Germany. They actually fled around the time that Hitler was coming to power in World War II, and so they came to America through Ellis Island. And yeah, so I was like, well, maybe I'll be the generation that goes back. So
You know what? You just I had a German model on the show. I think 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I don't know if you saw it, but actually he looks like you. Actually, he lives in a farm. He lives in a farm, and he's he's been modeling and he works as well as a teacher in in a for children. And he looks like you. Actually, I'm gonna send the link of his interview. You can have a look. But you have this thing. Like your face, it looks like him for sure.
we're
I'll
twins.
send you.
We're twins. We were playing a prank on you, and no, I'm just kidding.
Okay, just because you said that, now I'd like you to answer the first question with your best German accent. Okay, I'm joking. I'm
Oh
joking.
no.
Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Yes, I am ready.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So this is my best friend. Okay. Full of random fun questions. I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to relax a little bit before the first question. Let's do it. Okay, Len, before we start the game, during the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Okay.
By the way, I'm saying your name right, Lane?
You are correct.
Perfect. First question for you is, what do you miss the most from your childhood and why?
Ooh, that is a great question. So I moved around a lot as a kid. But one of the things that I loved was it allowed me to become friends with a lot of different people. And so whenever we would move to a different place, I would literally just like go around and like knock on doors like in my neighborhood and be like, hey, like, do you want to come outside and play? Like it pushed me really to get out of my comfort zone a lot of the time. And I kind of just like miss that freeing sensation of just like going out on like a Saturday and just like making a new friend or like hanging out with people and just being able to enjoy each other's company like that. It was kind of spontaneous and a lot of fun. So,
Do you have siblings as well?
yes, I have two little sisters. One is 4 years younger than me, and then she has a child, and then one is 10 years younger than me. So, yeah, I am an uncle as well.
Oh, sweet. Next one. Kaylin from Ohio. Next question is, what is your least favorite chore?
Oh, my least favorite chore. I think probably it would be cleaning my bathroom. I just I don't understand how it gets so dirty because I live by myself and I'm like, why does it get so dirty so often? I'm not like a very messy person, but I don't mind doing chores like laundry or like dishes. I think those are much better. But just like when you gotta scrub down everything and like wipe everything down in the bathroom, it's just like, no, I do not want to do this.
And it's always been your least favorite one?
Yes, it has. Yeah, always, always, especially even when I live with my family, because my family, like I said, I have two little sisters and a mom, and they were always so dirty, and it's like I had to clean up all the time, and I'm like, oh no, I hate it.
And it's the first time that you're living on your own?
Yes, so this is the first time that I've lived on my own. I moved out after graduating college, and then I moved to Columbus, and so I've always just had my own place, so it's nice.
Amazing. Next one, let's do it, Lane. Before the next question, tell me what's the best part of acting in your opinion? What's the most joy of it? And saying that also the flip side, the most challenging part.
Yeah, so the best feeling is when you actually get to perform it in front of an audience. One of the things that I really wish people would know, because I feel like we don't teach a lot of people theater etiquette anymore. Like it's okay to react, it's okay to laugh, it's okay to clap, it's okay to gasp. Like we want you to react because we know then that you're like giving us the energy that we need to continue the performance. And just being able to like perform in front of an audience and just make somebody's day better by having them laugh. That's really why I wanted to become an actor in the first place. I just love to make people laugh. The most challenging part, I would say, is the entire process up until the performance for me. I know a lot of people like the rehearsal process, but for me, it's very challenging because I want to be ready. Like I want to perform and, memorizing lines and knowing where I'm going to stand on stage. That is just very like, it's very cumbersome for me because it's so specific, right? But you have to do it in order to get to the performance. But it's just like I wish I could go straight from the audition right to performing if I could.
Interesting. Next question is, what was your favorite part about school?
Favorite part about school? I was actually a very studious student. I didn't grow up that way. It wasn't until I got into middle school that I started really taking school a lot more seriously. And one of the things that I would always do is just like, I would pace myself really, really well. So like if I was working on like a project or if I was studying something, I would maybe do that for maybe about half an hour to an hour, depending on what I was doing. I would take a break for about 30 minutes, play a video game, watch a TV show, and then go back to studying or doing homework. And it was just a really nice way to kind of break it up. I know a lot of people get stressed with school because they just don't feel like, oh, I can take some time for myself. But one thing I promised myself when I got to college was I wasn't going to allow college to interrupt my sleeping schedule. So I always still got like 7, 8 hours of sleep a night. And yeah, it was because I was really great at time management. So I think I just, now I feel like I don't have as good of a grasp on time management as I did back when I was a student. So I would really love to work on that moving forward.
Did you like school as a child?
I did like school. I liked learning. I didn't like getting bullied because like I said, I moved around a lot. So I was always the new kid, always fresh meat for the bullies. But usually it wasn't until I got into high school that I really started standing up for myself. And what I mean by that is, like, if somebody said something mean to me, like, I would just go directly to the teacher. Or if the teacher didn't do anything, I would go directly to the principal. Or if the principal didn't do anything, I would go to the superintendent. Like, I would make sure that, like, as soon as something bad happened, I would correct the behavior from that student, because then they started to realize, like, oh, I can't make fun of Lane or he's going to tell on me. And you would think, like, oh, you know, that would make it even worse for me because now I'm known as, like, this tattletale. But at the end of the day, like, when I would correct people's behavior, they ended up actually wanting to become friends with me, because then they were like, oh, I'm not going to make fun of you anymore. So maybe I'll just get to know you and see, see what you're like. So it was really interesting to see, but yeah.
Interesting point. And do you think that the kids, they were picking on you because of the fact that you're gay, or because of something that you're new? Or what was the point that they were picking on you?
Yeah, I think you know what's interesting? I was talking to my friend Rachel about this the other day. So who I am now is who I've kind of always been, but I didn't know it, right? So I'm a very confident person. I know myself. I've always known myself. So even growing up, like, I had the freedom from my parents to really be who I wanted to be. They never gave me any flack for being gay, or for, you know, doing theater or doing things that were typically, like, feminine, right? But other kids would see how comfortable and confident I was, and they would want to try and tear me down. I think bullying really just stems from the fact that somebody sees something in you that they want, but they don't want to, they feel like they can't have it. So instead of trying to get to your level, they want to bring you down to theirs. And so, again, I don't think it was anything particularly about me. It was just that they were wanting what I had and were going about it the wrong way.
Absolutely, I totally believe you. And I think as well, it's like admiration, they admire you somehow. I think even nowadays, as an adult, I think there are two different kinds of people. The ones, both of them, they admire us, but some of them, they're happy, they enjoy, they kind of push you, they applaud you. And the other part, they admire you as well, but they don't know how to deal with that. So what they do, they attack, or they try to put you down, or they put, you know, try to find a way for you to kind of, your light not shine that much. Do you know what I mean? So I think I tried the same thing as well. I think I remember my grandmother saying, telling me that when I was trouble at school as well. And she was like, you know what, they admire you, they want to be like you, but they can't for some reason. And I couldn't understand at the time. I was like, what? They admire me? How come? You know what I mean? And it makes all sense. It just, they don't know how to deal with that, this admiration, that they can see it, they can spot it, but, you know, they just attack it. The only way they can defend themselves somehow of this light, or if this, you know, beautiful person just stand up by this, you know what I mean? I totally understand your points.
That was beautifully said. Yes, I completely agree.
Next one, let's do it. Next question for you is, if you could have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee with a fictional character, who that would be and why?
Fictional character I would choose would be Hermione Granger from Harry Potter. I loved Harry Potter growing up. Hermione was just somebody that I always, because again, in the first movie, she was bullied, and she was kind of bullied a lot throughout the show for just being smart and being herself, but she never stopped applying herself. And so just to be able to talk to somebody who, like, persevered through a lot of really dark times was something that I really admired, and I always love her character. So.
And growing up, or even now, who is your a big admiration for actors or actresses around the world? Who that would be?
Oh, like, who's my favorite actor or actress?
Yeah.
My favorite actress right now is Jennifer Lawrence. And I remember the first movie I saw her in was the first Hunger Games when I was still in middle school. And I was captivated by her performance, just her use of voice, her physicality, the way she was able to connect with the other actors in the film. I promised myself that for Jennifer Lawrence, I was going to see every movie of hers in theaters that she was ever in, because I love her so much. She just is a very rare talent that we don't see a lot of nowadays. And I think that's why she is such a star that she is now, because she just fully devotes herself to her performance, and I truly admire that.
An actor?
Actor, I actually really like Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, he's just, again, physicality, use of tone, use of voice. He knows his niche, and I think a lot of people give him flack for that because they say he like does the same character over and over again. But to me, that's the sign that he knows how to do a character well. And it's not necessarily the same character over and over again. They may have similar traits, but obviously like their background is different, the setting is different. So I just really appreciate how no matter what the performance is, he's willing to go all in as well. And I think he's phenomenal.
Amazing. Ready for another one?
Yes.
Let's do it. Kaylane from Ohio. Next question for you is, are you a cat or a dog person? And if you could be an animal, which one that would be and why?
Yes, definitely a dog person. I've had some cats and they're great. I think cats are awesome. But dogs, they definitely love giving affection, I feel like, a lot more than cats do. Cats are like very independent, like don't touch me. But dogs are like, yes, touch me all the time, like cuddle with me, all that great stuff. If I could be an animal, I would probably be a panda. I think pandas are so cute, and I'd just be like chilling out in the forest, eating some bamboo. Like that'd be my dream day. So I love pandas. Yeah, so I would be a panda.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube? Like they're playing around. Oh my God, they're so cute.
That was horrible.
Like babies, literally like messing around, and it's beautiful. I sometimes when I catch myself watching those videos, it just blows me out. I just forget about the world out there. You know what I mean? It's like a therapy.
Yes, it's great therapy.
Next one. Before the next one, tell me. Let's see that all those beautiful movies around the world that we've watched so many times. If you could choose one move that you go like, okay, I wish I was there on a road there, which one that would be? And also the second part is of the question. Let's say that you got the biggest budget for a project that you create, you're gonna play in there, and you can pay any director around the world to guide you, to direct the whole production. Who that would be?
Okay, so just to make sure I understand the first question, so if I could go into a movie and experience it, or if I could go into a movie and be in it?
No, like a movie that's already, like a character that's it's so famous for some reason, but you go like, I wish I could be and play that role.
Yes. Okay, good. Yes. That is a good question. I would really like to be Spider-Man. I think the role of Spider-Man just looks so fun. Like you get to swing around, acrobatics. Like I'm kind of a nerdy kid, so I'd love to be a nerdy kid. I would really like to explore more of Spider-Man like as an adult. I think a lot of the time the movies tend to be more focused toward like him being in high school or college. And so I appreciate the third Spider-Man film because it explores him being an adult. So I definitely would love to actually be a Spider-Man character or a Spider-Man actor. I think that'd be so fun. And then, okay, the second question, can you remind me of that again?
Yes, let's see that you are creating like a big project where you're gonna play, where you're gonna choose the actors, everyone, and you can choose a director to guide you through the journey. Who that would be? You can pay any director around the world.
That is a good question. The first one that comes to mind to me is Meryl Streep. And I say this because So Meryl, I would say, is a much better character actor than what we would call kind of like a person actor. And what I mean by that is Meryl is great at character work. And that's something that I have a really hard time and that I struggle with, because I tend to play more like quote unquote real people, or people who come across as like a real person. And she's just able to go like above and beyond and make this huge thing and all eyes on her. And I would just really love to benefit from just getting to learn that side of acting and become the character rather than just like the person.
I'm gonna tell you something now. I've been in a bedroom, just me and Meryl Streep together, alone, two of us. Can you imagine?
What? Really?
Absolutely. It happened a few years ago in London. I was working in a 5-star hotel, and I was working as a room service, and she ordered some breakfast. I didn't know. She was like pre-ordered the day before. And I got to work and was very busy. And my manager said, Willie, can you take this tray to room 112? And I forget, room 112. I said, yes, absolutely. It was a suite. Suddenly I go there, I take the breakfast. And when I rang the door, the bell, guess who opened the door? Meryl Streep. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh, hi, good morning, Miss Go. And she was like, I said, oh, please come in. And when I was working with the tray, like to go to the living room, and she was walking behind me, and I was like, oh my God, it's just me and Meryl Streep right now in this bedroom. How is possible? I put down the tray in the living room. I asked her to sign the bill, and I was just looking at her. I was like, my God, it's me, Meryl Streep. And she was promoting the Devil Wears Prada at the time, was BAFTAs in London. And she asked me, she said, oh, can I ask you a favor? Inside of me was like, oh my God, anything, you can ask anything. But I was just like, absolutely, how can I help you? And she was like, can you just ask someone from the concierge to bring up for me? You know, in the UK, it's a different plug when you want to charge your phone. So she just asked like adapter to charge her phone or her laptop. And I was like, absolutely, I'm going to get someone to come up and bring up. She said, okay, thank you very much. When I left the bedroom, I even forgot about the time where I was, everything. Can you imagine being in a bedroom, just you and Meryl Streep? It doesn't happen like, it happens like in a lifetime. You know what I mean? I was like, wow.
My God. Such a cool story.
It's amazing. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'll never forget that moment. All the time when I go to the cinema to see her, I was like in a movie, I just keep watching. I go like, yes, I've been with you in a bedroom, just two of us. It's crazy. I love that. It's crazy how life sometimes takes you, you know what I mean? Those surprises that you're never gonna expect. It's amazing, beautiful. Talking about those miracles in life, if you could ask for a miracle, what that would be?
If I could ask for a miracle, what would that be?
Be in a bedroom with Meryl Streep. I'm joking.
Now that is, yeah. No, oh man. You know, I am somebody who has actually lost a lot of people to cancer in my life already. And I hate the disease. I just despise it. I think it's one of the worst diseases ever, just because of having to watch a loved one go through that. So probably a miracle that I would ask for is to just find the cure for it, or just eradicate it from the planet, because I'm just like, I don't want to see anybody have to go through that. So that's the miracle I would ask for.
Do you think one day they're gonna kind of get that cured or not, in your opinion?
I think so. What's really cool about Columbus right now is right now we're building this really kind of mega hospital called the James, and it's just purely going to be like a cancer facility, like a cancer research center, cancer help, like cancer treatment, and it's just dedicated to cancer patients. And I think it's like one of the only ones in the United States. And it's every time I drive past it on the highway, it's amazing to see the progress on the building. So I do believe that eventually we probably will find a cure for it, and that it will go away. But yeah, it may just be, it'll probably be in our lifetime, but it would be maybe toward the end of it, I would assume.
Let's hope for sure. 3 questions left for you, Lane. Let's do it. Next question for you is, what's the most dramatic argument you ever had?
The most dramatic idea I've ever had?
No, the most dramatic argument you ever had.
Oh, most dramatic argument. Ooh, that is a good question. I don't get into too many of these. I think probably when I was a kid, there was a girl who was bullying one of my other friends. And so I was like maybe 9 at the time. And I just like started screaming at this girl, like going off on her, like, "You are never gonna hurt my friend, get away from her." Like, blah, blah. I went off, like, and I'm sure like all the neighbors were like looking outside, like, what is going on right now? But yeah, I was like standing up for my friend, and it was just yeah, it was kind of crazy. So
When you look back, you know, those as growing up, as you mentioned at the beginning of the interview, that a lot of, you know, kids, they were pick on you for different reasons. Looking back now, the person you are today, if you could erase that period of your life, would you do it or would you keep it?
I would keep it. I would definitely keep it. It's helped make me the person that I am today. It's helped me with empathy and sympathy. One of the things that it makes me absolutely sick to my stomach, because like I said, once I got into high school, I wasn't bullied anymore because I didn't tolerate it, but I had lost the sense of not only, you know, kind of standing up for other people. Like I said, I kind of did it more as a kid, but when I was growing up as a teenager, I was like, you know, I tried to turn like a blind eye to it because I was like, oh, it's not happening to me anymore, so I don't have to worry about it. I remember walking home one day, I was maybe like 13, 14 years old. And I took this back way through this wooded area near my house. And there was a bully there who used to bully me, but because I kept telling the teachers, you know, whenever he would do something, he just stopped. I was walking and he was like bullying this other kid in the woods, like being very physical and very vocally mean. And I was so scared in that moment because I knew like if I had was going to try and do something that he probably would hit me or like say mean things to me. And so I just kept walking. And I just remember like feeling so sick. And even to this day, like I know that the kid is probably fine. I know that they probably got home safe and they were okay. But I just wish that in that moment I had said something and done something. But I was really scared. And so, you know, now that's kind of shown me that not only do I need to stick up for myself, but I need to continue to stick up for other people. So.
Wow, wow, wow. It's such those period of our lives, it somehow, it stays with us, doesn't it? It stays with us. And when you think about, as you said, you feel like vomit, you just remember that and you go like, wow, how those moments can, you know, leave a scar on us, or can make us, you know what I mean, more vulnerable for some reason, or less confident, or make us scary as well, you know. But as you said, you know, it builds the person we are today, and I think that we always should be grateful as well. But facing that period is not easy for sure, even not with us, but seeing, as you said, seeing someone being hurt, you know, being vulnerable, and people using their, you know, using their power physical to, you know, feel superior and feel in a way that they can hurt other people as well because of that, you know what I mean? So yeah, those things anyway. But it's good to talk about, because I think in the end of the day, it's not their kids' fault. Maybe the parents, maybe, you know what I mean, because maybe they should be more I don't know, supportive somehow, because those kids somehow, if they behave this way, it's not something that they were born this way. It could be something connect with, you know, maybe their parents or the way they've been brought up or anything that anyway. But yeah, I think it's good to talk about, and because people may be facing that or have somebody who faced and they're not strong as we are right now regarding that, could help somehow. That's what I believe.
Yeah, good. Again, brilliantly said. So
2 questions left for you, Lane. Let's do it. Before the next one, tell me one moment in your career that maybe you lost your forgot your line, something went terribly wrong, or something funny, something to go like, oh my God, I'll never forget this event through my career as an actor.
probably the one thing that I will not forget is I had a really, really bad audition one time. Like I know like a lot of famous actors and actresses talk about like really bad auditions they've had. So for me, I during the week that I was getting ready to do this audition, I had gotten bitten by a dog when I was on a jog. And I started a new job. I had just broken up with a boyfriend of mine. And again, they wanted you to come in and have like 2 monologues prepared, or you could like read from the script, which is what I was intending to do because I just didn't have time to get it prepared. So I show up to audition, and they even come out and they ask like, oh, does anybody not have any monologues prepared? Does anybody want to read from the script? But like nobody else raised their hand. So I was like, so they call me back and they're like, okay, go ahead and do your monologue. And I just like, I made something up. Like I was just trying to improvise. But it was awful. Like it was so bad. Like nothing I was saying was making sense. I was just looking like a fool up on stage. And so they ended up stopping me and they're like, okay, yeah, we're good. See you. Yeah, good luck next time. I just was like, and what was funny was I was the Olympics were happening during that time that I was auditioning, and I remember watching the Olympics, and somebody had like fallen off of a beam or somebody had like messed up their routine. And in my head, I was trying to rationalize it because I was like, you know, these people, these Olympians train pretty much all their life to get to the Olympics, and then they mess up, but they still just have to keep going, right? They get back up on the beam, they keep going. So it's like, you know, sometimes you're gonna fall off the beam. Sometimes you're not gonna do what you thought you could do and do it well, and that's okay. Like you just take it and you go with it and you try to make it better next time. And that following year, I ended up challenging myself to be in more shows than I had ever been in before, and I was able to be in 6 productions last year. So, yeah.
Oh, wow, wow. It's funny when you're saying that you were beaten by the dog, you broke up a relationship. If I would gone through all of that and go for audition afterwards, when they said, William, are you ready? I'll start crying straight away. I wouldn't do anything. I'll just start crying. Yes, I'm ready to cry right now.
Yeah, so I would do a very sad piece about my life. Yes.
And they go like, okay, you just passed now. Amazing. I love your emotion. Amazing. you got the role. You got the main role for sure.
Thank you.
Next question for you is, what is a significant event that has changed you?
Significant event that has changed me. So when I was little, like I said, we moved around a lot, and that was because my mother had been married multiple times. And the second guy, so my first stepfather, he was very mean to us, I will say, just to keep it PC. But regardless, when my mom finally got away from him, we were homeless for about maybe like half a year before we could get back up on our feet. And being homeless, it really changes your idea of having things and having stuff. Like even if you just like look around my room right now, like I don't have a lot of stuff on my walls. I just like have my bed and like my desk for my job and stuff. And it taught me that like I don't need a lot of stuff. Like I'm like stuff that I love that I have is my TV and my video games. Like that's all I need to be happy. But other stuff, I don't need it. And that's really something that's changed my life.
Oh, wow. Thanks for sharing, Lane. Thanks so much. It's great when you see the picture afterwards, like the message, and we are grateful for that, isn't it? It's so rewarding to see that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Amazing. Ready for the last one?
Yes, ready.
Let's do it. But before the last question, people watching the interview right now, would you like to start a career in acting as an actor? What would be your best piece of advice?
Best piece of advice. What I would say is make connections. Getting into the theater world, I thought that I could just get in on talent alone. And while talent can definitely take you far, you know, directors want to work with actors that they're comfortable with and that they enjoy working with. This is why Sigourney Weaver keeps working with James Cameron. This is why Tim Burton keeps working with Johnny Depp, right? Like your reputation with other people is what allows you to have a flourishing career, rather than just your talent. Like you can be talented, anyone can be talented, but if you don't make connections with other people, you're not going to get called on. And your reputation is everything. So do your best to put yourself out there, go to parties, go to special events, go to theater events, meet other actors, meet other directors, producers, because when they see you and they can put a name to a face, they're much more willing to hire you on to do a show. Most of the shows that I do now in Columbus, I don't even have to audition for, because the directors know who I am and they know my work ethic. So I'll just usually get a call or an email and they're like, "Hey, Lane, can you come in and do this role?" I love it because I hate auditioning. So, just really get out there and really just be nice to people and introduce yourself and be outgoing. What I like to do, because I tend to think that I'm a very introverted person, pretend you're playing a character who's outgoing. Like, and be like, "Hey, how are you? I'm Lane. How are you doing today?" Like, just pretend you're acting so you can get the role.
Good one. Last question for you is, would you rather be invisible or be able to fly, and what would you do?
That's a good question. I would say fly, only because I would want to save on like airline tickets. I know, like, being invisible, technically you might be able to get on a plane and like steal a seat or something, but you still have to like sit on a plane for hours and hours and hours. I'm hoping that if I can fly at least maybe as fast as the plane, maybe not faster, so I can get to my destination sooner, and again save on those airline miles. So
let's say that you could fly somewhere right now at the moment. Where would you go?
I would go to Tokyo, Japan. I love Japanese culture. I studied a semester of Japanese in college for fun. I did not realize how difficult that would be. So it was not as much fun as I thought it would be. But I ended up learning a lot about the culture, about the language. And I just think it is the most beautiful country that I have ever seen. And I would love to just be able to go visit. So hopefully one day.
It's on my bucket list as well, something that I would love to do, to go and spend at least 4 weeks there. Imagine, I think for sure I would come back a totally different person. I think their culture are ahead of us. The way they approach life, the way they, as I told you before, I was working in hospitality hotels, and I remember when, we had Japanese guests. You have no idea, Len, the way they talk to you, the way they approach you, the way they look at you. It was just like amazing to see and to realize how the difference, how much we need to improve regarding that. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing how, they are far away from us, the way they, they live life like normal daily basis.
Yeah, no, you're totally correct. Yeah, it's just so respectful. I love that. I love the respect. Sure.
It's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. I'm going to give away some words and just tell me one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Okay.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Family.
Kids.
How about money?
Time.
Love?
Dates.
Life?
Happy.
Sex?
Skip. I don't know.
It's okay. One word for politics.
Interesting.
Religion.
Fabricated.
Fear.
Fear. Oh God. Skip. I don't know. Oh, this is hard.
That's absolutely fine. Friendship.
Love.
How about desire?
Passion.
Regret.
Non-existent.
Okay. Success.
Happiness.
One word for wish.
Determination.
One word for happiness.
Successful.
One word for Ohio. Don't tell me corn, okay?
Flat.
One word for Columbus.
Busy.
USA.
Greedy.
And the last one now. Acting. One word.
Freeing.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your best friend, tell me the most beautiful thing about Lane, and tell me something that he still needs to work on, to improve on. What your best friend would say?
I think my best friend would say that they love our conversations. I try to be somebody who's an open book and that we can talk about anything and everything. And I think what's been great about the really good friendships that I've forged is that there is no filter. There is no hesitancy to come to each other with issues that we're having. And I absolutely love that not only I can do that for them, but they can do that for me. One thing that I think they would say I could improve on would be to not get too excited and jump into things, because I had to learn this the hard way as an actor, because there are times where I would really get burnt out because of all the things that I was doing at one time. And I'm just like, I usually just say yes a lot. So I'm like, yes, I'll do this. Yes, I'll do that. Yes, I'll do this. And then I'm like totally tired and exhausted. And then they're like, told you so. So they would probably say to slow down, think about things before I do them. And yeah.
Yeah, sometimes our best friends, they know us better than ourselves. You know what I mean? They can see the big picture there.
Yeah.
Amazing. Let's play now Lenny and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. But before that, let's play the music one more time. Let's do it.
Okay.
You can ask me a question now, Lenny.
Yes. So if you could have dinner with anybody who is alive now or has ever lived, who would you have dinner with and why?
I love the question, and I'll tell you why I love the question. Because when you were formulating the question, so many people came to my mind right now, like people who I admire, people who I love, people who, you know, I would have the opportunity to sit down. But actually, you know what? You know, nowadays the headlines about Prince William and Prince Harry, what's happening between, you know, those two brothers, you know, regarding, you know, their relationship, regarding the royal family, regarding, you know, their past, their parents, everything what's happening now. Actually, I would like to right now, at the moment, to sit down and make the table dinner with both of them. Just, I know it would be a bit challenge for me. I think I wouldn't be able to talk. You know what I mean? But you know what? Just because you know, I admire Prince William, you know, Princess Diana. I loved Princess Diana, and of course, as well, admire Harry. I think he's the prince who, you know, a bit wild, that, you know, that maybe Prince William couldn't be for some reason. Anyway, just because the moment we live in right now, I was yesterday I was watching this news about, you know, this thing that happened between both of them, and I just was thinking, my goodness, how sad in a way to see that happening, you know, between two brothers, and also how interesting to see that it doesn't happen to our normal people, like, you know what I mean? We have those things, and actually it's a big deal what's happened between both of them, and I think it would be interesting to sit down at a table with both. You know what I mean? Just to have, you know, an understanding, or maybe to see that, you know, how they would manage that somehow, you know, this controversy, what's happening right now. It's this trouble, big trouble now, involving a lot of people, and also, you know, their loved ones. I think it would be interesting to sit down with them, to have a, you know, a meal, and to talk about, or even listen to them, what they have to say, you know, and after write like a best-selling book afterwards about this dinner. I'm joking, but I think it would be fun to, you know, to have a moment. But saying that, Lane, there are so many people that I admire. You know, Barack Obama, someone that I would love to sit down with him. You know, back in Brazil, I grew up with an entertainer called Xuxa that I loved, like I still love a lot. It's my biggest idol. And there are so many people around the world that I'd love to sit down and to have a meal, just to understand a little bit about life, about how they managed to get to the place where they are right now. Not because they're famous, but just because, you know, the journey, I'm sure it's not easy, you know, to get somewhere. But I love the question, because at the moment, I think the first thing that came to my mind, the first people would be those two brothers, you know, like just to have an understanding about this conversation. It would be interesting to sit down with both of them at this moment where they are facing, you know, this, I don't know, this troubled time now between both, and they involve so many people around their families, for sure.
Oh, that really says a lot about you, that you would try to, you know, help these two brothers reconnect as a family. I think that's really sweet.
Absolutely. And as I said, it's so sad to see those two brothers who we saw them growing up in the spotlight. You know, they've always been together, always been together. And suddenly, you know, because one reason or another, they just crashed. And I think it's sad to see. Anyway, let's hope for better days for them. And I hope this is going to kind of somehow warm down a little bit the, you know, the intensity, the thing what's happening right now. Anyway, yeah, I would love that. Lane, did you enjoy the interview?
Of course, this was so fun. Thank you so much for asking me to be a guest.
Thanks for being kind and sweet, and accept my invitation as well. Since the first time when I approached you, you're yes, let's do it. And I think it's amazing. It's amazing. We never know, as you were talking before, you never know. I think when you're open-minded and we expose yourself there, you never know what can happen, you know, so it's good to be open-minded. But before you go, if you can share a positive message, something that you live by.
Something that I live by. So growing up, one of the most influential pieces of media that I had, because like I said, I love my TV, I love my video games. My favorite video game of all time is Kingdom Hearts. It is a crossover game between Disney and a company called Square Enix. And it's really great because it combines a lot of those fantasy elements with, like, you know, the magic of Disney. But one of the main messages of the story is, even in the deepest darkness, there is always a little light. So how I try to apply that in my life is, like, even when things are at their worst, even when you think of giving up or just not going on, know that there is always a little light there to guide you and to help you, and you just gotta go for it and keep going. And so that's like been my favorite thing to live by.
Amazing. Thanks so much. It's a good message for now, starting this new year. You know, people, as we talked before, I think this time of the year, people, they are making plans, and you know, and just to know that as well, you just can carry on and going forward, never stop. Thanks so much. Okay, Happy New Year and good luck on your career. We keep in touch. It was a pleasure.
Right. Okay? Take care. Thank you. Wonderful day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.